We actually have agents for you today. That's so refreshing. Ashened as well. We're in, oh, and we got little fishies for you as well. Make sure you guys smash the crap out of that subscribe button so you guys don't miss out more on us content. Now, it's been a hot while since we've seen agents. I'm pretty sure Nicholas has been the only agent player that I knew existed out here. But to have a different agent list coming into light is actually really freaking cool. I'm happy to see that, you know, we can still have this deck do its thing. Also, 43 cards. The only thing that always scares me about this deck is I'm going to dead draw the testicles way too much. Like, there's just nothing that you can do about this. It's the most inconsistent part of this deck. Now, interesting things here. I see that we are doing Terratop into the Talcum Tum board, but this is just a turbo out. No, we can't make that. Oh, it's to make, oh man, you can Cherubini in this. Okay, so we've gotten to the point now that you can Cherubini, get a free level 3 milled off out of your deck because of this. Interesting. Okay, so we can get some really nasty combos going here. Also, the fact that this deck can actually get to the reframing is absolutely hilarious. This build's also playing the Gold Pride Eradicator as well. Have we really reached the point that we can, I guess this does act as a monster, as another level 8 to kind of clean up a field. Huh. The agent toolbox, while it is like the roguiest of rogue decks, some of these boards are so interesting just to see what you can build off of. Especially, you know, you're playing the Nightmare Corruptor Iblian here as well. Think about that. You know, a free revive, hand it on over to your opponent. Have your opponent have to deal with this now. I mean, I don't see, you know, besides like Sprite Sprint here and this, I mean, the full Sprite combo is something that's really cool to be able to do, but this build's not dedicating any slots to the blue, the jet, or the extra, you know, cheese that kind of comes with it. So that's kind of interesting, but overall, cool deck. All right. Ooh, Ashened. So, where is it? All right, here we go. If you were thinking that, you know, Ashen was going to dominate the meta, I know, I kind of had hopes too. I think this deck has some of the coolest art available to it in the TCG, but it did not live up to the hype. Probably when we get the next card or two out of the OCG's release for this in, you know, 6 to 9 months, I think we can still do something. Remember, the big Vidos here is going to be the big reason why you're going to probably win games, because it's 2+ level 9 or lower pyro monsters, so you can essentially suck up your opponent's entire field underneath a vacuum if you have the Vidos, or, you know, you hand your opponent the Vidos and then you're able to kind of suction up everything because, which one of these things? Face up special monster your opponent currently controls become pyro during your turn only, so if you leave them with a Vidos, you head on into your turn, slam down the Obsidian, and then, you know, you make the Super Poly board. You can kind of go ahead and clean things up into the big Vidos dragon here. And now your opponent has to deal with a pseudo-class boss monster running around on 3,000 attack. Kind of a shame that you didn't get more attack points. You can also make the not-so-fun one of the 2 pyro monsters, but if you do need to get some recursion going, this can kind of help you. Focusing on the triple, or excuse me, it's the 2 hero, the 1 king. King's definitely the worst one here. The triple priestess. We're doing the 2 shaman, the 2 spearhead, and of course the triple Vidos rounds us out. We're also not focusing on Ashen in the main. They chose to go with the Drolls, which is actually kind of interesting. 1 eternity with the 2 endlessness. Spells, you're focusing on the triple awakening, the triple extinguishing, the triple obsidian, and then 2 copies of rekindling. Yeah, I think everything looks fine for this list. You gotta remember, you're definitely in the rogue class for this deck. Not saying that the deck is bad, but you definitely gotta work for those wins. We also have Fishy Wishies. I love the fact that, you know, obviously the Abyss Shark stuff gets some major value out here with the Ghoti stuff. And I still stand by what I said. I think that Ghoti of the Deep Beyond is one of the best ways to be able to handle the meta. But this deck, 1, requires an insane amount of setup, and 2, it involves you playing Ghoti. And when I say it involves you playing Ghoti, you really do have to learn the lines of play for this deck. You can't ignorantly sit down and expect everything in this deck to click in your head. That's not how this works. All right, you have to have some sort of dedication and understanding that if I'm going to play Ghoti, you have to learn the combo lines. You have to learn, the forms of interruption and things that you need to go. And if your opponent does have a well-timed negation for your board, you are going to be in an absolute shitty position. It actually happens. I see that we are doing the 2 white reincarnation. On activation, you do get to add that fish monster with an effect that treats itself as a tuner from your deck to your hand, which is pretty good. And then your white aura monster attack, you can activate this. The attacking monster can make a second attack in a row. And then if a level 8 or higher fish sinker monster special summoned from your graveyard, during the damage step, draw a monster your opponent controls. All of this just to abuse this stupid white aura whale. Honestly, the free attack position board wipe with this and the free /revive is actually pretty good. I think this is one of the best Gosh Darn Yu-Gi-Oh cards this deck has going for it, outside of, the level 10 nuke to clean up the field. But, okay, I also see we can stealth Kraken, clean things up. I do like the fact that, the subfish answers here are all, like, recurable assets. Like, this gets you something back. This also gets you a free special summon back from the graveyard. So, both of these are going to do good jobs for cleanup. Outside of that, yeah, this is what you're looking at in terms of the Fish Master class. Good stuff. Ooh, we have Horus Dragon Link for you today. I will say that, like, the Dragon Link has been an absolutely crap position. I'm not saying that it's the worst thing in the world right now, but it's definitely not where it once was. You got to remember, what was it? Coming off of Worlds, you're like, oh, this deck was good, and then, we kind of lost, Chaos Space, and some of the consistency pieces along the way that have definitely hurt this deck from getting the chance to kind of shine, which is kind of a little bit different. I see we are also focusing on the Rocket Caliber in here as well. I mean, another free special summon for this deck. You need as many extenders as you can kind of get in some of these end boards. While they do look kind of intimidating, yeah. We are focusing on the 1 Boot Sector launch in here. Okay, we are doing the 1 Gold Sarcophagus. I mean, you have the standard 5-card package for this. It's always the 1 Hoppy, the triple Msetti with the 1 King Sark. If you're trying to dedicate more to this, I feel like you're just running into a consistency nightmare. And then at the end of the day, if you're starting to get into the terrible ratios and things, it's not really worth it. I also see we are focusing on the Atum. To be honest with you, still having, 2 buy steals set up to get to the Atum, to get the free special summon on out so you can, reverse engineer combo. Gonna be pretty strong. Oh, wow. They're actually doing a triple burst dragon in here as well. You don't really tend to see that all that much. And then, of course, the Hope Harbinger and the Zombie Vampire, depending on how you need your board to sculpt up at the end. Do you need the Spell Negate or do you need the Mill 4 so you can kind of get things going? Personally, I think either way, you're good to go. And, of course, side deck, hey, you got triple the best broken card in the world. And we have the triple destructive Daruma Cannon in here as well. Okay, I see you. Outside of that, this list is pretty cool. I'm happy to see some of the more interesting results being present in today's meta. Okay, and our last list here, 49 cards for this Melodious list. Huh. You really managed to shove that many cards in here. I do see one of the biggest things that I think really needed to help this build was, yes, they are playing the triple pod desires. By extending up the number of cards in the build, you do get a huge chance to kind of deviate that consistency rate into something a little bit more consistent. And I think that this does help you out a lot. By having, the more stuff, it means you'll probably banish a little bit less here. And if you do need to use this to help out to, net some resources, it's not bad. We're also playing the triple small world here. You have enough hand traps that you can bridge the gap with all of these to essentially get you to any piece of your combo that you need. We're also maximizing on the triple first movement. The triple Ashened that hasn't changed. Concerto here, still doing its thing. And outside of that, I don't see anything really too crazy down here. There's the Bloom Harmonist, still going full value. The Haggard Lizardos. I've actually enjoyed getting the chance to actually see this card kind of be a huge help to these decks. I will say, good stuff. Outside of that, good stuff. If you've been wanting to mess around Melodious, all of these different builds that kind of come to the light out here and give you a good showcase of, hey, you can play these extender pieces to do your thing, all available to you right here. So, what do you guys think? Please, leave a comment down below, tell me what you guys think. And I will say, the meta, even though it's not in the greatest place right now, some interesting stuff is happening. You guys have a good rest of your day, all right? Patrons! Thank you.
Thank you so much for watching. Check out these other videos.